Well, greetings everybody out there. Happy Friday night and welcome to Friday Night Flights. I'm your host Lazerbolt. We're still flying around the coast of Brazil. We got the whole gang here. We're going to be flying in these Beechcraft Baron Bonanzas. And actually this ain't the Bonanza, this is the Twin Baron. My apologies. Flying around this Twin Baron here. It's really nice. We're going to be taking off in about 3.5 minutes, so sit back and enjoy the show. Please say hello in the chat if you'd like, ask any questions or whatever. And yeah, we're going to have a good time tonight. So welcome to the show. So yeah, we're down here on runway 32, y'all. Yeah, Split Horse, we missed you last week, buddy. It's good to see you.
I was here.
Was you here? He was here.
Oh, I mean Longhorn. Sorry about that. I don't know why I got you guys confused all of a sudden, but yeah, Longhorn. We didn't see you last week. It's good to see you.
Well, I was like had the day off from work and was all set and ready to go, but I upgraded my video card and something is really screwy with it where I have to reinstall my video driver before I start Flight Simulator every time now.
Oh no.
And I didn't realize that last week, so I kept getting a black screen on it. I get the very first pop-up that says or Xbox Game Studios, and then it should go to Asobo Studios, I think, and then it does a little cinematics at the beginning. Well, if I don't get to the second screen saying Asobo Studios, it just goes to a black screen and it stays that way for 3 or 4 minutes. And then it finally will load into Flight Simulator, but then there's no world map or anything showing.
Oh no. Is that something that happened just after you... It didn't happen before you did that graphics update?
Nope. No, I changed the video card.
Oh, so you got a whole new video card. Okay.
Yeah, I changed from a 3080 Ti to a 5080.
Ooh,
and
that
wasn't doing it before.
Quite a difference, yeah.
And but I found that if I reinstall my NVIDIA driver and then immediately start Flight Simulator, it starts up and runs just fine. But then now when I turn my computer off and turn it back on again and try to start Flight Simulator, it's going to do it all over again.
Ah, geez, that's weird. I've been having driver issues myself, but it's more like with my flight sim controllers and stuff like that. They get weird driver. I have to reinstall the drivers on them about once a week because it just starts doing strange stuff. Very odd.
Yeah, I've gone back to the 57602 from NVIDIA, and then they've had 2 driver updates since then, and
nice.
2 hot fixes in between there, and I've done all of those, and nothing seems to correct it.
I was going to ask if obviously you're using the latest driver, but yeah, if that's what's causing it.
Yeah, the latest driver just came out yesterday or the day before, and it didn't fix it. So I was like, okay, so what the hell is going on? And I Googled it, and there's nothing on the internet about what's going on, what's causing this.
Right. Congratulations, you're the first person to have this problem. You're a lucky guy.
Have you tried putting your monitors on a different output on the graphics card?
I'm on VR, a Pimax Crystal Light. So.
Oh, okay.
So it's and that's actually tied in through my one of my USB 3 ports, and I tried a different USB port on that, but it's before it even boots in, so it's not really. I'm thinking about switching because I have 2 monitors and my headset, so I'm thinking about switching the 2 monitors. The headset's got to stay in the middle just because the connector on it's the only small connector of the 3 connectors, and I can't put the 2 big ones next to each other because they just don't fit on the graphics card. So I got them on the outsides, and then I got the headset in the middle. So I'm going to swap the other 2 around. But I think if I remember right, I think I even tried disconnecting one of the monitors, and it still did it.
So what's the new card that you just got? That sounds like a beast.
The 5080.
Well, you can get those things?
Yeah, probably not cheap.
Last Monday or a week ago Monday? Yeah, a week ago Monday. I was on the Egghead or Newegg.
Egghead, I love it. Egghead is
Raffle.
The little
raffle?
thing with it. Yeah, the raffle, and never got anywhere with that. That's actually how I got my 3080 Ti a couple of years ago. But this one I never got on it. But then I got an email from them a week ago Monday saying, "Hey, good news! We got limited stock and we got more than we expected. So if you want to get one, hurry up." So I got like right on and
Now's
got
the
it.
time.
And the price was actually fairly reasonable compared to everywhere else. So it's like, all right. So I ordered it and it came in like 2 days later.
Nice.
Well,
Congrats.
gentlemen, it is 10 after the hour. Hey, Travis. I see Travis joining
Hello.
us. Good deal, buddy. Just so you know, we are streaming tonight, so watch your language, young man. But yeah, if you'd like to join us, we're about ready to take off from runway 32 over here.
Sounds good. Yeah, I didn't realize it was 9 already, so I'll be in a few minutes. But go ahead without me.
Oh, right on.
Oh,
Right
shoot,
on.
I got
We're going
live-
to be
I got
taking
live
off.
weather.
Let's call it 10 seconds, guys.
Give it 30. I want to switch my weather. I don't want live weather because it looks like it's like raining here. Fortunately, I can change weather without having to go out of this.
Right, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, I don't generally do live weather during a group flight. I like to keep everything as predictable as possible. The one
me
thing I
too,
always
but
do
unfortunately-
is, as soon as I load in, I set the time so 2 hours from now we're going to have a beautiful sunset. You know what I mean? So at the end of the flight, it's going to look really nice. It's all right. Everybody ready to go? We're going to take a left-hand turn out of here, guys. We're going to climb up to about 5,000 feet. We don't need to go too high, but 5,000 should get us there. We are taking off out of the same airport we landed at last week, so that's always handy. So yeah, let's go ahead and get out of Valente and head towards Salvador. Lazerbolt is spooling up and rolling. So Travis, happy Friday. How you doing, buddy? It's been a while.
Happy Friday. I'm doing good. Yeah, let me get all loaded in here and I'll chit chat a little more.
It is a nice, quaint little town here, isn't it? Well, I'm doing some weird things here navigation-wise. Let me try to get back on course. For some reason, I just went right around in a circle instead of latching onto that pink line. So I hope everybody had a good week.
Smooth, luckily, thankfully.
Yeah, mine's just going by too quick is all. I can't believe April's
Hell
already
yeah,
over.
I experienced that too quick.
Well, the beginning of my week was more exciting than I wanted. My radiator was having some issues where the transmission fluid was leaking into the radiator.
I just
And
fell
what
out
a
of the
mess
sky
that
and
was.
crashed. Anyway, continue. I'll deal with my embarrassment here. I'm still going through the woods.
Yeah, so inside my radiator, where the transmission line goes to kind of cool it a little, transmission fluid a little bit, it must have cracked inside of there, and luckily it didn't go inside the transmission, like none of the water from the radiator, so that was good news, but cleaning that out of the radiator was what a hassle.
Oh boy, yeah, that'll make a mess. Got to get it out of there though.
Yeah, and I also need to replace my hoses because the transmission fluid kind of messes up the hoses. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow since they just came in.
Lazerbolt, Lima, Alpha, Zulu, 2512. Taking off, runway, tree 2 departure to the east.
I have a feeling I'm sitting right on top of somebody. Might be Travis.
It is.
I am. Are you in a Baron?
I am in a C90. It's like a King Air but smaller.
Oh, right on. Perfect. I've got you in a single engine. It looks like a... it must be just a substitute because I don't have what you've got, but it looks like a Bonanza. Anyway, let's try this again. Yeah, I was monkeying around with my autopilot and I stalled. We're doing that.
Luckily, it's probably all on film, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know how many people are watching right now. It's not too many. I think like 2 or 3 people saw that. It was embarrassing. I'm not going to be putting that in a clip. Yep, I'll catch up to you guys. We're going to be doing about 160 knots indicated today, so try to hold 160 knots and I'll catch right up to you. Well, let's try this again.
Well, I'm holding at 134 knots at 4,000 feet. Shouldn't take you too long to catch up.
No, I'm catching right up.
Yeah, I'm holding 135 at 3,000.
Yeah, you don't need to go quite that slow, but I will catch up to you. I'm going about 170 right now, but I'm right behind you. Don't know what's going on with my nav setting, but I'm just going to fly with the heading hold instead, and that'll get us there. Yeah, we're going to be visiting Salvador tonight. This it's quite a used to be a big exporting port where they would export a lot of like cocoa beans and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a big cocoa bean area around here.
Brazil nuts?
You know what? I'm not even 100% sure if Brazil nuts come from Brazil. They probably do. I have no idea, but you know, it's one of those things that they might not even. I mean, around here they just probably call them nuts.
Are you talking about the edibles or the people?
I'm talking about the nuts.
Oh, I get it. The ones that you wrench on.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like Brazil nuts, but you know, if there's like a mixed can of nuts and I get one, I'll munch on it. But it's not like, ooh, this is so good.
I just like nuts in general, you know, so yeah, a good Brazil nut's pretty good. My favorite is a good macadamia nut. You cannot beat a good crunchy macadamia nut.
Pecans
Until you get to a bad one. Oof.
Yeah, well, that's true with everything, I suppose.
Well, like we go down here and see some of Wingnuts' relatives down here, mixed Brazil nuts.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Not my favorite nut.
They can be kind of dry sometimes. Alrighty, I'm catching up fast. Well, you guys did get a good 5 miles ahead of me, though, real quick like. It's amazing how quick that happens. Like I said, I'm going to be climbing up to 5,000. Yeah, the article I was reading about, what's that place, Salvador, with all the cocoa beans. That used to be the biggest industry in Salvador is cocoa beans, and they still export a lot of them. Of course, nowadays tourism is their biggest industry, but they still do the cocoa nuts.
So, Leisure, did you look into that C1, or they call it the Dirty 30?
I did. I checked out the website, and yeah, I like everything I'm seeing. I didn't check it out as far as buying it just yet. I'm a little bit broke at the moment. Got to wait for my job to kick in. But the airplane itself looks wonderful. I'm definitely going to be getting that.
Yeah, I picked it up. I've flown it a couple times.
That's the alpha version, right? That's not even released yet. Yeah, please do tell.
Yeah. Well, I found it to be a little more sensitive than the C-130 that we currently fly.
Control-wise?
Yeah, a little more sensitive, and it's the trim. At least for me, when I take off, it's like it's wanting to fly to the moon straight off the bat.
It really
and I have to fight the trim to get it back into control and level out and everything.
Yeah, interesting. I'm definitely going to be getting that thing.
Yeah, it's going to have some nice bells and whistles once they get them all complete, but it doesn't have it all right now.
I would imagine it does control quite different though too, because it's a much more modern version of the C-130 than the one we're using. Like even in real life, it probably controls different and just has. I was checking it out. The airframe for that Dirty 30 it's bigger than the one we're flying. It's an actual larger aircraft. It's longer.
Well, they have two versions. They have a short and then the long version. Yeah.
Oh, excellent! Because I like the shorty myself. That's the one I'm used to.
I do too. I don't like the big long stretched C-130, but I mean I don't hate it, but I prefer the short one.
Yeah, me too. It just looks more proper. The big long one just kind of looks weird. Alrighty, holding 5,000 feet. Travis is up in the air. That's good beans.
Yeah, I can't get my autopilot to work properly. It almost crashed me.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what's going on here. This autopilot, I use it every week in this aircraft, and it works just fine, and it's simple. Not today. Not today. It's simply not working. I can still follow my heading bug, though, so I've got no problem with that.
Oh, mine locked on. You selected you're in GPS and selected the nav button, and it still won't lock on?
No, I've got, like I said, I've got my home cockpit here where I've got all that right in front of me, and
oh, okay.
Doing the regular routine that I usually do doesn't seem to work today. There might be a weird switch somewhere in the cockpit that switched today that's not normally, but a lot of switches to check out.
I just push the buttons on the airplane itself, except for the autopilot. I've got it mapped out on my throttle quadrant, but yeah, but in the airplane itself, I select.
You mean that's right on on the right-hand side avionics panel. You've got the AP
Yeah.
and FD and the nav and the alt and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I just pushed that and I got my autopilot back. It, for whatever reason, the autopilot on my throttle quadrant wasn't working right. It was working last week just fine. Now all of a sudden, but I went into a cloud and I wasn't really paying attention. I was doing something else, and all of a sudden I hear pull up, pull up. And I look up at the screen. I came out of the clouds. I was pointing straight down at the ground. I'm like,
That's not
"What?"
good. Yeah, pay attention.
Not good.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's why
happened
they
with
give
me.
you
I
other
was,
instruments. That's why they give you
Well,
an attitude indicator.
like I said, I wasn't. I was distracted. I wasn't paying attention, and it took itself out of autopilot.
yeah, it's weird.
But luckily,
in
yeah,
the
I was
cockpit,
able to pull up.
in the cockpit, I switched to that nav button, and in my real life cockpit, the nav button lit up as soon as I hit it. That's the same button that I had pushed a minute ago, and it wasn't working. It appears to be working now. Very strange how things work. And then a week from now, it won't work.
Ooh,
Coming
boy,
up
you
on
guys
your
are
left,
coming
Wingnut.
fast. I see you.
Yeah,
Zoom.
I was going about $170, so I caught up to you guys quick. I'm gonna bring her down to about 160 here, and we'll be one nice happy family. Did you get that bird back up in the air, Longhorn? Or was that split horse? I confuse you guys again.
They
That's
look
weird,
the same.
'cause
You know,
I
they-
don't
they
think you
look the
guys
same.
really sound alike.
Yeah, my autopilot's still not working. The elevation is working just fine, but it won't track the GPS. I mean, it says GPS in my screen right in front of
Right.
me.
Yeah,
Hitting
all
the
I
nav
did was
button doesn't seem to do anything.
I just turned
Are
on the
you-
autopilot main and then hit that nav button that's right next to your avionics panel, and that
Are
did
you
it
close
for me.
to the line though itself on the flight plan? Because you got to be kind of close to it for it to catch it, lock on.
Yeah, I mean, I flew right through it, so
Oh,
I had those little blue boxes.
Well, you got to be sort of compare. You got to sort of get close and fly pretty close to the heading of it, and then to kick it in.
Yeah, he said he's right on it, so that's pretty close.
By the way, today I'm the first day I'm flying with the autopilot.
Oh,
Everything's
excellent,
working.
excellent.
I didn't fly with it before, so that's why you see me bouncing all over the place.
Right.
Today I'm not.
It's just handy, you know what I'm saying? We're doing a 2-hour flight, and it's nice to be able to take your eyes off your instruments for just a second, you know, and you know you're still going the right direction.
Unless
I'm
if you're
slowly
split horse.
catching you. And this
I'm
this
just-
double
I'm
Baron
just sort
here,
of sitting-
the Twin Baron is a good one to practice the autopilot because it's simple. Just everything about this aircraft is pretty simple.
Yeah, well, I'm just sort of up here waiting for you guys to take over. That's all. Going
Yep, I'm
150
slowly catching you.
150 knots.
You're going 150?
Yep.
Gosh, we must have different wind speeds or something. I'm going 164 and I'm catching you real slowly, creeping up on you.
Well, I was getting really good speeds once I turned on my autopilot. It's ridiculous. It cleaned up everything.
Well, it's
Cut
the
down my
autopilot.
aerodynamic problems.
It'll get you to your cruise altitude, and then it'll trim you out real nicely. And yeah, the autopilot can get you going really fast, just because it's perfectly smooth and level. You know what I mean? It's better than you could do by eye, and you'll pick up some speed for sure.
what happened to Longhorn? Did he computer quit on him or?
I don't
Guess
know.
so.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in the air, and I don't see him in Discord at the moment. Maybe he's monkeying with his graphics card again.
Yeah, he must have had some issues. He just disappeared.
Well, that's a shame getting that brand new graphics card and then having issues like that. I've been having, like I
I
said,
know.
my
I'd almost
Windows.
be tempted to switch it back.
Windows has been screwing with me too with my drivers. Like I said, that was kind of one of the issues I was having with my C-130. the drivers on my entire cockpit, everything. I've got like 4 things that I need to plug in, and they were all screwed up. I had to go back to the websites and reinstall all the drivers for everything. And now, the first thing I do before I start flying, after the game's loaded, I load the drivers. And everything seems to work as long as I do that. But I never had to worry about that before, and that started, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. So I don't know, maybe Windows did something different, and it's kind of screwing with drivers now, that it's having trouble juggling stuff around. Having issues with your graphics card driver, though, that's kind of serious.
Yeah, I think so, man. I'd be tempted to switch back.
Yeah, me too, especially since, I don't know, his old graphics cards seem to work just fine. There's always a better one, but is it better? Doesn't seem to be working all that good.
I don't know if it's any relation to what you're dealing with, Laser, but I know NVIDIA pushed out a really bad driver update like about a month ago or so.
Really?
And
yeah,
they
it's not my issue.
out-
It's Longhorn having the issue tonight. But yeah, I mean, my graphics card works fine.
I don't know if these newer ones that they put out since then, a week or so or 2 ago, if they actually fixed all the issues that they pushed out, but
I see we have a question from the chat here. A Mr. Ken Knapsack, a hell of a fella, says, Laser, do you ever take requests for airports to go to? We've never had anybody actually request an airport to go to, but I'm always looking for reasons to go anywhere. So yeah, I'm always scratching my head trying to come up with a new flight plan. If somebody has something interesting, that's the best way to go. Do you have anything in mind, buddy? And that goes for all you guys here too. If there's ever any place that you want to check out, just say something. You know how it works around here. You've been around here long enough. The reason we're flying in Brazil so much lately is just because they released the big Brazil update about a month ago. But yeah, I'm thinking the next place we're probably going to fly to is going to be someplace in the United States. I might pick one of those cities that they recently upgraded. You know, maybe someplace in Texas, or what was another one, like Denver that they did. They did a big overhaul.
San Francisco.
Now, SNEV, is that an airport?
That is, yes. That's going to be our first stop, Sierra November Echo Yankee. We're about halfway there right now.
That looks like a dirt strip right there.
I'm going down. Take a look. I'm in front here.
Oh, Ken Knapsack wants to know, can we fly to my hometown airport of St. Louis Obispo. Sorry, I can't speak today. Obispo, California. I probably could, yeah. We like to fly around California quite a bit because there's a lot to see there. And
when I was out in Santa Barbara, I went there.
Sorry,
Does
Coach?
he know the airport code? Does he know the airport code?
Nope, I'm not sure. It'd be easy enough for us to find it, though. So I have to make a little note of that next time we're around and swing in someplace. I always like it if people can check out their local area and say whether it's accurate or not. You know, most places, I mean, you can actually find your house. It's right there, right where it's supposed to be.
Ah, Travis, you snuck up on me.
sorry.
Nah, no worries.
Is he pouring gasoline all over your plane?
I think he
retired from
honey
that.
bucket as he drove by, or he flew by.
Yeah, I don't know why
Okay.
the fire trucks always came in GTA.
When we get to our first stop, it's going to be Sierra November Echo Yankee, Fazenda Lagoa de Morro Airport, or something like that. We are in luck. We get to land at a big dirt strip today. This is the first dirt strip we've seen in a couple weeks. It's not particularly small. It's actually it's pretty large. It's 4,200 feet. It is at an elevation of 2,800 feet though, so bear that in mind. We have quite an elevation up there. So we have a 4,200 foot of dirt runway. It will be runway 18. Gentlemen, count on runway 18 when we get to Fazenda. All right, I'll try to remind you when we get there.
Look at that.
So we're about 40 miles out. That should take us another maybe 10 minutes or so. Yeah, Ken, one of the places when we were flying around there last time, I was wondering if you were watching, but it was, I don't know, it was probably 2 months ago when I was streaming on Twitch, but we visited Catalina Island, and it was beautiful from the sky. It was a really nice flight, and I was wondering if anybody who'd been there would recognize any of it. It was a pretty nice place. I could see why you guys all rave about it. That would be a place that it wouldn't be bad to like take a helicopter around and actually check out the town and check stuff out really good. I see somebody just took off from the airport back there. I'm wondering if that's Longhorn. Yeah, Travis did sneak right up here. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
What aircraft did you say you're flying?
It's a Beechcraft C90. It's like a King Air, but a little smaller.
This is very similar to what we're flying then, which is
Yeah,
another
that's good.
Beechcraft.
It's turboprop though. He's got the speed over us.
And he's
by a
got the
lot.
little extra juice.
It only goes up to like 200 on the top end. I was kind of surprised. I thought it'd be a little faster, but they didn't do something.
I was toying with the idea of bringing out the ODC-3.
I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if you'd be able to keep up, but I really like that airplane. That's another one that it's not easy to fly, but man, it is just beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it does have some big lifty wings.
You know, it's surprising, having flown it so much in the old sim and flown it again, I start going back into old technique with it, and I find myself actually keeping Kip from crashing it and doing that.
Right, you can't fly it like we used to. The new sim is, I think, a bit more accurate. It's less forgiving. The old one, it flew pretty arcadey. I always thought it was a little unrealistic at how well it flew. Because, I mean, that is an ancient aircraft. It's just, they're not supposed to fly that tight, you know?
Sure, so you have to do the right things when you're transitioning between flying and on the ground. You could push yourself in a pickle. There have been some accidents the last handful of years. Not a lot, but a couple of them were pretty serious. I like this plane, it just didn't allow me to move the navigation over to the avionics, so I'm just gonna fly behind you the whole time.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite airplanes. I really like this one. Just, it generally works, you know? Everything, there's nothing too complicated on it. Everything works like it's supposed to. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but I don't know, 170 knots, 160, that's not too bad. That'll get you there.
Yeah, hey, speaking of which, does anybody know if they got the aircraft wake in, like, working, or is it still coming?
The what now?
The wake
The wake
turbulence?
effect, turbulence. I don't know.
Turbines wake effect.
Oh, yes. Actually, you know what? I think it was Longhorn, like a week ago, was mentioning that when he was behind me, he was getting quite a bit of turbulence. You know what I'm saying? Like, he thought it was working at least a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I might have it turned off, because I'm getting nothing but...
Alright, we got Bob up here too. How's it going, guys? That is a tight formation.
Sorry, I didn't even know you were right up here.
I think Travis scratching my wing down there.
Oops. got the Blue Angels, and here you have the Blue Daredevils.
So we're about 30 miles out from our destination. Just a reminder, guys, we're coming in on runway 18. Count on runway 18. It's a dirt strip. I checked it out real good on the map, so I know that it kind of blends in with the rest of the area, but we'll be able to find it. It's not short. It's a pretty big one. It's over 4,000 feet.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if you guys realize that this Sunday is Star Wars Day. This is May the 4th. So, you know that jazz about May the 4th be with you and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, keep an eye open, because Saturday night at midnight Eastern here, I am going to be posting my new Star Wars Day video. It's my favorite video that I make all year long, and I only make one Star Wars video a year, but I really like it and I put a lot into it. So yeah, Saturday night at midnight. It'll be what, 9 o'clock in the west? But Saturday night at midnight, tune in. I will be premiering my new Star Wars video. I really like it. Speaking of Star Wars, Brennan has joined us. Page Turner 09. Greetings, Brennan. How you doing, buddy? Happy Friday. Yeah, as always, I got my buddy Captain Hopper to join. We're having a little Star Wars fun. Should be a good time. I've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years now, and this will be the first episode in 5 years where we run into the Empire. So dun dun dun. Stay tuned.
Is this going to be on YouTube or?
Yeah, it'll be on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to set it like an instant premiere kind of thing. I've never done something like that. I don't know how well that works. But one way or the other, it will be up Saturday night at midnight. Longhorn, you made it back. Buddy, how's your airplane doing? Was that your graphics driver causing an issue again?
Yeah, I was trying to change some settings, which caused Flight Simulator to crash, which meant to kick me out.
Oh,
so I had to reinstall everything again.
Isn't
But
that just
no,
the
I've got
way?
this
You get
really-
that fancy new
really-
graphics card and it just causes problems.
Yeah, it hasn't worked since I put it in. I mean, everything else works great. It's just Flight Simulator and it just do not get along.
I'm with Bob. I'd be tempted to just put my old one back in there because that seemed to work just fine.
I actually think it's my headset, because
Really?
it's like a tracking issue, and that's what's going on right now. Is it keeps thinking that I've left my tracking zone, so it kicks me out.
Oh, it's a
My
VR
vision
thing.
out of the game. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes a certain amount of sense too, that it would confuse the issue.
Yeah, they had a headset update also about the same time all this crap started, so I'm thinking it's related to that. But it screws with my vision, because when I look left, my whole plane moves left and right instead of just
Oh,
my
no.
vision.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's
you
like-
can't do that.
And then it'll pop me back in like a couple hundred feet above my plane or below my plane. Like right now, it just popped me in, and I can look up to the sky and see my plane like way up in the sky. It's like,
Well, that might screw you
It
up
just-
big because you fly VR all the time, every time. So to have your VR starting to screw up, that might really be an issue for you.
yeah. It's funny. It's the one that's recommended by Microsoft too. Like, well,
Oh,
look
really?
what that does.
And here
Yeah, see,
I
it's
just
doing
got
it to me
the
right now.
I've got the wonky old Quest 3 MetaQuest headset. Nothing but awesomeness. It works perfectly every time. Once again, you can get better if you want to spend 5 times as much, but I don't know. Is it better? This thing works all the time perfectly.
Yeah, I never had a problem with my Reverb G2. The only reason I changed it was because of the them getting ready to obsolete it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get caught without it. So it's like, all right, well, it's time to upgrade then. And I've had nothing but problems since I did.
Yeah, that's a shame that they made that. I mean, it used to be default that Windows VR thing. They got rid of that. That doesn't make any sense to me. If they had something that works, why not just leave it, you know? It also doesn't make sense to me that VR is getting more and more popular all the time. Why would they make it harder to use? And that's Windows doing that, making it harder to use.
Yeah.
You know, why would they make it harder to use? Because they don't have their own headset? That's a petty reason, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, it's all resulted from them taking mixed reality out of Windows 11, and then now they're obsoleting Windows 10, and supposedly there's an update with Windows 10 that will brick the Reverb G2 also. So it's
Really?
like, well, I can only put out the updates for so long.
Well, and meanwhile, the Quest 3 is going to continue working because they've got their own codecs, which...
Well, and that's why I got this. The
yeah,
Pimax
because
does the
they
same
supposedly
thing.
got it too, huh?
Yeah. So they use their own OpenXR system, and they don't use Windows or anything, or Microsoft, so it's immune to that stuff. But unfortunately, it gave me nothing but problems since I put it in.
Yeah, when you were
only had
gone,
what, a couple
when you were gone a second ago, Travis did mention that a couple weeks ago they released an NVIDIA driver update that kind of screwed some things up. I wonder if that's related.
Well, they released 56, or was it 57602, which screwed with the temperature readings. It wasn't reporting proper temperatures. So they issued a couple of hot fixes since then, and then a couple of driver updates since then. But they just came out with a driver update yesterday that was supposed to fix it. Basically relied on the 2 hot fixes that they just did, and none of that has fixed any of this. But I can't go any earlier than the 57602 because that was the one that enabled the 5080.
Right. Well, gentlemen, we are 15 miles out from this dirt strip. Remember, we're going to be landing runway 18. It's over 4,000 feet. Keep your eyes peeled. It is only dirt, so they're hard to see. I'm going to slide out to the right here about 5 or 10 degrees, and that'll get me lined up with runway 18. I'm also going to bring myself down to about 4,000 feet. Remember that the elevation around here is over 1,800 feet, so the ground is a lot closer than you think it is.
Sometimes when my computer's not working right, I pour gasoline in it and turn it on.
I'm about to. I was thinking about just breaking down and going back to Windows 11 now that I don't need to worry about the losing mixed reality.
Because you're going to lose it anyway, right?
Yeah, so see if that fixes it, basically just reinstalling Windows.
Yeah, I'm still using Windows 10. I'm probably going to use it until they force me to switch. I like Windows 10. I've got Windows 11 on my laptop, and it just bugs me. It gives me little issues that I'm just not used to. It's not that it gives me issues, it's just that why do they got to change everything? It just bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah.
You know, why do they got to move everything? All the little things that I'm used to easily doing, now I got to go through 6 menus to try to figure out what that thing was, you know? And when you find what you're looking for, now it's called something different.
Yeah, it's a pretty crappy way of what they're doing, making, most computers can't even put Windows 11 on them. If you have an older computer that's more than 4 or 5 years old, it's like, forget it. So they're going to just basically just scrapyard a whole bunch of computers because, they're not going to let you put Windows 11 on them.
I see
Boy, it
Longhorns
sounds
back
like a
in
whole
here.
bunch of
Good
guys
deal.
saying, "Get off my lawn."
That is kind of how it is. All right, gentlemen, we're 10 miles out. It is time to start scouring the ground for that runway.
Well, I'm 81 miles out.
You can catch us in a hurry. This thing can maintain about 170.
Yeah, I'm doing 184. I should crank up the wind behind me. Give me about a 150 knot tailwind. Right now, it could not be any smoother. I mean, it is absolutely smooth, but then it goes through their little glitches where my vision just gets totally screwed up and it gives me a headache.
That is not good in VR. I need my VR to be as smooth as possible, man. It's
Oh, it's smooth. It's just
Yeah.
when it starts misbehaving, like I'll look to the right and my whole entire plane view, like it's like someone rotated my plane to the left when I look to the right, and then I go back and look to the left, my plane goes back to the right, and it just does nowhere near matches where I'm actually looking. And then it pops me out of the plane, and I'm not in the cockpit anymore. I'm like a couple hundred feet above the plane or a couple hundred feet below. And that, I think, is a tracking issue.
I thought those were just features.
Yeah, I wish I was still under the 30-day return policy on this headset. I would have sent this thing back and said, yeah, this is not going to work.
Any of you guys have any idea where this runway is? I do not see it with all the rolling hills.
I got it in sight. 4.5 miles in front of me.
Well, you're way off to the right, Laser, aren't you?
A little bit, but I'm going to need to find runway. I'm going to follow behind Wingnut here and see if he can get us there. I figured I'd have to swing out to the right a little bit. It's a runway 18. It means it's got a perfectly
It
south
doesn't
heading.
have a little something on top of it, say "Here I am" sort of thing.
Yeah, that would help.
I'm pointing at it. Bulldog. You know, here we go.
I should be
Point.
pointing at it.
He's on it. I'm pretty much on the line to land in the right. I'm got a heading of 168.
I'm 4 miles out. I should see it by now.
I see it. I see it.
Like I said, it
We'll
is
go
a
behind-
dirt strip that's relatively the same color as everything around it, so it's not too easy.
It looks
doesn't
pretty
have
good.
lights.
It looks
Oh
good.
yeah,
Well, sit-
I see it. You're off to the right of it.
I'm on a 1 mile final.
I think I see it. Nestled in these hills here.
It's got like a little skinny dirt track leading up to a wider dirt track.
Yeah, I think it's right next to a road of some kind, or at least part of a field.
Yeah, I'm going in on it now.
Pretty lush looking area. It's a big one though. It's bigger than most of the airports we landed at last week even.
On the
Travis.
ground.
Trying not to hit you, buddy. I think
You're
I
good.
just snuck in right in front of you. Did it go around? Oh, Wingnut. Couldn't get her stopped?
No, I'm on the ground.
Oh, I
Full
thought you
stop.
said you're going around. This is a rough looking place, isn't it?
Woo-wee, coast. You zipped by me.
Correction, you ran in front of me.
I didn't know you was coming that fast.
I'm over here cutting grass, hitting trees.
Right on. Everybody's down safe and sound.
I'm not. Wrong time. How do I get this thing to go up in the air and down again?
Carefully.
No,
The
I mean,
slew button?
You mean like slew?
Well, what's this? How do I slew out of this place?
Tap the Y button.
I wish I had a Y button.
I would have said you
Wish I
had
had a
your
Y
auto
button on
throttle
my
turned
life.
on, but this doesn't even have that, does it? All right, let's back taxi to runway 18, and we'll sit here for a minute, and we'll get the whole group together.
Looks
I
good
made
up here on
brats
this
for dinner
hilltop.
tonight. Sorry, Wingnut?
So it looks good up here on this hill with the dirt runway and the grass. And
This is a
kind of
nice looking area.
yeah, looks
Looks
nice.
like a place hobbits live. Yeah, I was saying I made brats for dinner tonight, and boy, you know how it is. You know, there's better food out there, but when you're in the mood for a brat, nothing's better than that. It was so good. Coach, you ever get that bird back on his feet?
I think I see a whole bunch of cows or something over here behind us.
You always got so many animals going on, and I haven't seen one in forever. I don't think I've seen one in Brazil at all. Longhorn, what's your ETA, buddy?
Let's see. 17 minutes. So don't wait for me. I'll probably catch you just in time for the second airport.
Well, I don't know. You can catch us pretty quick. You'll get there before that. But yeah, we'll probably take off before you get here. Maybe just do a touch and go, and then follow
Yeah, that's what
behind
I'm
us.
thinking of doing.
Like I said, we're going to be maintaining around 160 knots. You should be able to do quite a bit faster than that.
Yeah, like I said, my ground speed right now is 195. Yeah, I'm on the pink line. I'm like right in the middle between where we took off and where you guys are. So I'm like right in the middle of it. So I'm halfway there. At least I'm close enough to see you guys' markers or tags.
Oh yeah. This is one of those where I had trouble finding it, but once you see it, it's unmistakable. It's like, yep, that's it for sure. Coast, how's that bird for you?
In the ground.
In the
I'm
ground.
looking it up. I'm trying to figure out how to.
You have tried the Y button, the slew, to get it up?
No. I'll find a hero.
A slew would be the easiest and quickest way. Just the Y button. Of course,
Maybe
I
see if
noticed
it's
mine
mapped.
don't work. When I hit Y, it doesn't work for me, but I think I mapped it to something else.
I don't know if it's default mapped to Y anymore. You might want to check.
It depends if in your controls if you're using the 2020 keyboard or the 24 keyboard.
Mm.
I went back to the original keyboard setting, the 2020. So I'm not sure what the slew is on the 24 setting.
Yeah, I think they changed a slew of things.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Travis
we
is
missed you,
back.
Travis. Who was it
They
2
say
weeks ago, though?
Don't do that to me, Travis. I'm drinking Sprite, man.
Trying to get it up your nose.
It comes out the nose. That's when it burns.
That's the way I drink it.
Up the nose?
Yep.
Well, that would explain the way you are. You got too much Sprite in your brain.
You know, I can remember back when having all this grass and flowers and stuff would just kill your machine.
Yeah, now it's smoother than ever.
Yeah, they really did some nice changes in this thing.
when I installed this, it took like 5 minutes to install. I'm like, what? And then I found out that everything is streamed.
Oh yeah, another thing, Laser, that C-130, the Dirty 30, the new one is, I think it's 17 gigs.
Oh, jeez.
Holy moly!
Yeah, that's,
Wow.
I didn't know that. It took me a while to install it.
I think that's impressive. that's really something. Holy moly!
Yeah, I bought it. I just haven't installed it. I just made the purchase because I got the email from them saying that their next update, they will be increasing the price on it, and they're going to keep increasing the price with almost every update till they get to the final version. So if you're thinking about getting it and you want to get in at the cheapest price, now is the time.
Yeah, being that that's a division of Milviz Simulations, those guys really make top-notch stuff. They are not going to release. They're not going to release garbage. It's going to be real nice.
Yeah, it was $24.99 today, and I don't know what it'll go up to. Eventually, it'll probably wind up being like $60 when they're all said and done.
It could be. The last couple of airplanes I've seen from them were an actual study level type of aircraft. Yeah. All kinds of like hardcore military type vehicles they did. Well, I'm guaranteed to get it.
They're going to release an SR-71 next, I think, and I think that's still in development, though.
Did they make use of any of the 2024 features on it, or?
Well, they talked about, doing airdrops with cargo and with troops, but that's.
Here I come.
I see you headed down here.
Got you inbound.
That's not operational yet. I couldn't even get the ramp open. It's got this little notepad on the left, like where the clipboard is on the old C-130. It's got a more like an electronics thing for configurations.
Did they give you any kind of indication of how long they're going to be in the beta version? Like, when's it going to start releasing?
Not really.
Probably a while, I'm guessing.
It might be sometime, yeah.
Yeah, they just said they're in the alpha right now, and the email I got today said they're hard at work on coming up with their first update based on all the feedback they're getting, because it just came out yesterday, and there was a lot of complaints about issues with it, and they were saying, well, it's just an alpha version.
Yeah. How much can you complain? They tell you right there that it's an alpha version. It's gonna have issues.
That's why they're charging as little as they are, and then.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get these birds back up in the air. We're all back together. We're going to be taking a left-hand turn out of here and heading straight back to the coast over there. So we're heading towards Sierra Bravo, Sierra Victor. That is going to be Salvador. That is our big city that we're visiting today. There is a point of interest. I don't quite remember what it is. It's a big statue or maybe even a stadium of some kind. But pay attention as we're coming into Salvador. We're going to be landing runway 10 when we get there, and that's pretty much straight in. So bear that in mind. Lazerbolt is spooling up and rolling.
I'll wait for everybody to go by.
I think we're going to be gone before you're here. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, we're going to be gone before Longhorn gets here.
Yeah, I'm about 10 minutes out.
I'm not going to wait for Travis, though.
I wouldn't. This guy runs in the street with oncoming traffic. Swerving all over.
All these dang potholes.
This whole runway is a pothole.
Yeah, I wanted to get this flight in because we're taking off a week from tomorrow for a week. So I don't know if I'll be able to get on next Friday, and I know for sure I won't get on the Friday after that.
You taking your RV out and do a little camping?
Yeah, trying to make up for the trip that we had to cancel in February.
Take a laptop.
That's what I do. So are you going to...
My laptop wouldn't even fly this.
Are you going to bring your your what's that, Starlink satellite? So you got some RV.
No, because then I'd have to shut it off at the house, and then I'd lose all my security systems in the house.
Oh, very true. How's that been working for you, by the way? You still digging that? Is it better than your satellite provider was?
Yep, it's not as fast, but it's fast enough that it'll do everything I need it to do, and it has yet to let me down.
I caught the GPS line, that's for sure.
That's a good step. I was once again unable to grab onto the GPS line. I'm just going to fly with heading bug, which is just as easy. We're not doing anything fancy. We're just going in a straight line. So.
Speaking about things that don't let you down, I know Verizon is fairly expensive compared to some of the other brands out there, but when I went to Austria this last visit, just before, they had come out with a new phone plan or whatever that is pretty much the same as my old unlimited one. And but now when I go over there, I can use my phone 100%, and I have 10 gigabytes of full-speed data as well.
Oh, very cool.
So I can just use it completely
to have
normally.
it wherever you go.
Yep.
Yeah, very handy. You planning on doing any more traveling anytime soon?
This summer I'll go back over there, but I don't have a set date yet.
Very nice, very nice. I always
She
thought
just
it
left
would
on
be.
Wednesday.
I always thought it would be important for every young person to do some traveling. When you're young and you've got the time and you got the money, just go somewhere. Go see someplace different, and it will give you a whole different perspective on everything that's going on around here. You know.
Oh yeah,
A
we
lot
have
of people.
it pretty nice.
You see people online who seem to think that, you know, oh, Europe has it all figured out and they're so much better than us. And it's like, no, people are people, man. People are people no matter where you go. They got their own thing they're doing. We got our own thing we're doing, and everything is just groovy. You know, it's great to see a different culture, you know.
They clearly haven't been to Spain or Italy.
Yeah, well, actually I have. It's been very briefly in Spain. And that was different. That was a little shady, actually. I didn't like Spain.
I mean, the people that don't realize that Europe actually doesn't have it all figured out. They have this, not Spain and Italy specifically, but even Austria and other countries, they have all the same problems we do here. There's just some things are slightly different.
Exactly. You got the same type of people from A to Z, from chimpanzee A to chimpanzee.
Well, right now, global warming is hurting Spain a little bit because the rain in Spain does not necessarily stay in the plane.
You know what? You took that out of my head. I was already saying that when Travis first said that's Spain.
Yeah, they did get some flooding over near Valencia last year, or not too long ago anyway.
Yeah, I remember the last time we flew around Spain, it looked like the whole country was just kind of I don't know, like a river flat. You know what I'm saying? It was like there was water everywhere, and it looked like it wouldn't take much to just flood the whole place. Like I say, it looks like it's right on the edge of flooding already, you know?
And nary a drop to drink, right? Water everywhere. Nary a drop to drink.
Boy, you're going way back now.
It was very...
competition.
It was definitely very interesting, the landscape of both Italy and Spain. Like, you definitely know you're in a completely different country. There is no... Like, there's a heavy contrast between the, going from Austria or Switzerland or France to Spain and Italy and stuff. It's just kind of wild.
One thing that I noticed when I spent 3 years in Germany was that they were like back in the 70s for me, you know, and they weren't in a hurry to upgrade or do any improvements. I mean, the way it was is probably the same way it is today. And one of the worst things that driving through the villages or the little towns that I went through is that they put the traffic lights in front of the intersection instead of
Oh wow.
past the intersection. So a lot of times I'd go up to the light, you pull up to the white line like you're supposed to. I can't see the light. I have to rely on somebody honking their horn or stick my head out the window. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I guess that's to keep the cars back from the intersection, maybe.
Well, you'd think they'd have a white line further back, but
Oh, you're supposed to be smart enough to figure out where the light is so you can just stay back and see it. Yeah, I've been to intersections where the lights are, they're on the correct side. They're on the other side, but they're too high, and if you pull up too far, you can't see them. So you're like leaning forward in your vehicle to look out your windshield. It's like, what the heck?
I have that in my
I did have
RV.
some.
Yeah, when I'm parked in an intersection in my RV, I got to do it just right, or I can't see where the light is because it's got the big overhang in the top,
I did have some issues with that, mostly in Germany, not too much anywhere else. And yeah, it was usually like in the city or something. But maybe it's not as bad as it used to be because it wasn't very common, but it did happen.
just, they want to preserve their old villages, and so a lot of times you have like a single lane, and people are trying to drive two cars on a single lane, cobblestone lane. I understand. I mean, it's heritage, and they don't want to tear down building.
Yeah, well, they just, their cities aren't really designed to have as wide a roads as we do too. I mean, their cities is going back, 1,000 years, and the streets are as wide as they are. That's all there is. You can't move every building and make the streets wider. Around here, our cities are 100 years old, a couple 100 years old, so everything is much more modern.
Think of trying to move the streets in Venice around.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, it's like I noticed that, like, I spent some time in Germany when I was a kid too. I lived there for about 4 years, and the little village we lived in was a quaint little village. My dad was an officer, so we didn't have to live on base. We lived in this little quaint little village, but then we would go to visit my grandma in Nuremberg because I have German relatives. We'd go to Nuremberg to visit my grandma, and it's like, holy moly, everything is brand new. Everything, the entire town, all the buildings, everything is brand spanking new. And I didn't realize it until much later, but then I realized it's like, oh, the reason why Nuremberg is all brand new is because we bombed the hell out of it, and everything's new there.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at pictures from World War II over in Europe, I mean, we didn't have precision bombs like we have today. We just carpet bombed cities. I mean, it was,
oh yeah,
God, they leveled the place.
Yep. Yeah, my mom lived right through all that. That was must have been a rough time. I tell you what.
That's why they flew large masses of bombers in patterns.
Yeah, just carpet the whole place.
Well, no, that's so that they can get to the target they wanted to get to. Hopefully, one guy's going to get them because they're close together. They're amassed in patterns. Germans did it too.
Oh, they all did. They all had just the same precision.
I know exactly, in my mind, I can see kind of the pictures and recordings of what you're talking about, Split Horse, and it's just shells of buildings is all that's left. And for anybody that had to live through that, I just kind of feel.
I mean, if you watch Band of Brothers, they really did a good job on that, showing the devastated cities, and then it shows the people that had come out of the bomb shelters, and they're just stacking bricks up because they're going to use those same bricks to build something back up.
And life goes on. Yeah, one of the things that was a weird consequence of, I think I grew up a little bit strange compared to a lot of people as far as just the philosophy my household had when it came to money. Since this was my mom's #1 rule, and she was firm on it. She would not let my dad budge. My dad had American sensibilities about money. We got to save money. We got to put money in the bank. We got to invest it. We got to look for our future. And my mom was having none of it. My mom was like, nope, that's not how we're doing this. And so what we did is My mom, she grew up in the 30s and 40s in Germany, and she saw her family lose everything time after time. It must have happened 3 times where they lost everything. You wake up one morning and your money's worthless. You wake up one morning and all that money you had in the bank is gone. You know, all those investments you had are nothing. You know, it costs $2,000 to get a loaf of bread all of a sudden. All of a sudden, money's worthless. So her philosophy, and a lot of old Europeans her age kind of had that are around during that time that lost everything over and over. They have the same philosophy, and this is how I grew up, to where money is absolutely worth nothing until you spend it. That's the only time money has value. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper, or worse yet, nowadays it's just a number, you know. And money is worth nothing until you spend it. So spend your money on assets. Spend your money on valuable things, and then own them. Don't take out loans. Don't nothing. Just your money's only valuable when you buy a car with it, or when you buy a house with it, or when you buy antiques to fill your house. And so growing up, I always thought we were poor because we never had money. You know, I mean, I would ask my mom, "Hey, I want to go to the movies," and we wouldn't have money. But then again, we were always surrounded by nice stuff. We always had nice cars. We always had nice antiques. We always ate really good food, you know. So I always thought we were poor, but we were really living high on hog. You know, we just was living seventh heaven, man. It was great. But having a bunch of money in the bank, we never did that. We never had a bunch of money in the bank, but we always had valuable things. Your assets will always be valuable. Your money, you can wake up tomorrow and your money's worthless. And that's the biggest argument I ever saw my folks ever get in. And it was the only time I ever saw my mom quite that serious. And my dad got like a bonus check at work one time, and he put it in the bank. And my mom found out about it, and she was having none of it. She was not having that. You know, she was not. She met my dad at the door. I remember this. It was quite a tense argument. And my dad was like, "Well, we got to save money." And my mom's like, You're not saving money. You can come home tomorrow. I ain't going to be here. You know, you're not saving that money. She said, "You go to the bank right now, and you come back home, and you hand me that money. Put it in my hand, and then we'll be good." And my dad did. He went to the bank, came back home with a big stack of cash, handed it to my mom, and she smiled and kissed him, and that was it. That was the end of it. And she spent that money on the family. She bought us all some toys. She bought a couple nice dinners, you know, bought us some clothes and stuff, and just spent the money on the family. And that was the end of it. And I don't know. That's how I grew up. That's, you know, like I said, I always felt like we never had any money, but we always had real nice stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story. Thanks for sharing. And kind of to follow along with that is I just don't understand when the market starts getting wonky, everybody pulls out. Let's just say, for example, the market crashes like the Great Depression again.
Yep.
And
good example.
your money is useless even if you pull it out. Like it's gonna be. You're gonna just burn through all that money, where as long as you're confident in that company surviving through the depression and still being there,
Yep.
you're gonna keep a lot of your money on the opposite side of that, if not make even more money.
Well, no matter what happens next week, my Camaro is still going to be valuable. My RV is still going to be valuable. All of my toys and everything is still going to be valuable. All the crap that I own, all of my assets are still going to be valuable. My money might be gone tomorrow. Who knows? It's pretty much gone already.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you got another aspect is you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, you could get hit by a bus and all that money you saved was for kind of nothing in a way.
Yep.
More or less.
Depends if you have a family or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, my dad was kind of sneaky about it, though. My dad realized that if he took money and occasionally put it into like a money market or something like that, a little money certificate, something that will mature in 20 years, and stuff like that my mom wasn't able to find out about. But he had to be sneaky about it. Like I said, his American sensibilities were like, well, we got to save money, you know, we got to have money in the bank. And my mom was just like, nope, Nope. Money is worthless. Money is absolutely nothing. And worse nowadays, money's just a number in a computer. It's double worthless.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a balance for all of that. And of course, it's for everybody to find their own, but yeah.
That's why we invest in different things. I have a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, coin, a little bit in cryptocurrency, and cash. So
well,
most of the house paid off, so.
It used to be back in the day, you would get a job somewhere and you would work your whole life, no matter where it was. You could be a butcher somewhere, a grocery store, and when you're done, you get a nice little retirement. And you know, every place you worked, no matter where you worked, you'd spend your life working there, and you were happy having a job, and you would be very good at your job. And then when it was done, your reward would be a retirement. That doesn't happen nowadays. That's kind of the problem in the whole system nowadays, to where like you can't really quite do it the way I grew up, because there is no such thing as a retirement plan for anybody.
Yeah, you definitely got to make your own these days, fortunately.
Our first investment was in our kids. That was where we thought the great best investment was their education.
It looks like it's paying off too. You raised a couple smart cookies there.
Yep, we did. Yeah, and we sent them to good schools, and we said we induced them to work hard, and they both of them won. Well, first my older daughter won a full ride to scholarship to college, so that helped.
Definitely makes it nicer. And yeah, she worked for it and earned it, so.
Yeah, at least I don't have to pay back her school loan, right?
Nope, no school loans. They're all paid. They're all gone. We paid as we went at their education.
Yep, that's kind of what we did too. I went to college, and as soon as I got out of college, I paid that loan off. Paid off. I mean, that is one of the biggest wastes of money, is any kind of a credit card or a loan or anything. Huge waste of money. You're throwing away money if you have any kind of a loan. Don't buy anything on credit ever. It's the biggest waste of money.
Yeah, I don't have any debt. I don't have any credit card. I have ATM cards. no credit cards.
So you guys might see we have a point of interest marker up in the distance there. We're going to be sitting at, or we're going to be hitting that, flying directly over it on our way to runway 10. So count on runway 10, and we'll check out that POI as we get there. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what it is. It might be an opera house, or I don't know. I forget what it is.
You think they have an opera house here?
This is a pretty big city. Also, a reminder, this. Sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
That's okay.
I was just going to say, this is our penultimate stop, guys. So when we do get to, what is it again? Salvador. When we get to Salvador, we're going to be taking a 10-minute break. It'll be a good time to warm up your coffee or grab a cocktail, hit the head, do whatever you need to do. We'll be back up in the air in 10 minutes.
Rose doing that. Please don't block my way again.
Yeah, I'll try to get off the runway.
Yeah, good one.
Even though you're as far down the runway as you could get.
I had to slam on my brakes and do a hard turn. It's like the regular traffic here at home.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not the kind that has road rage.
Well, I can't get out of my airplane yet.
Oh.
You can't have road rage when you're stuck in the plane.
Let's see, you map your right fist to what, the right arrow, and your left fist to the left arrow? I don't know.
So, Coast,
Well,
do you, how'd your Buffalo Bills do in the draft? Do you know? Are you satisfied with what you got?
Well, nobody asked me. Okay, that's number one.
Yeah, the coach didn't call you again?
Again, I actually have. No, they didn't. I think it's good. They put the emphasis on the defense, which I think in pro football these days is what you got to have a really good one, or you're not competitive. Got 8 people out of the 70% of the people were like 70 or 80% of the people were all defensive ball players.
Right. Defense was big this year. That's kind of how my Lions went. I was really hoping that we would get a fast edge rusher or a good safety of some kind, and I think we got that. The rest of the choices, I don't know. I'm gonna trust our head office knows what they're doing. They've been doing pretty good the last couple of years, so as long as they keep doing that, I'll be a happy guy. We get to this point of interest just on the other side of this bay here. I'm going to drop her down, and we might as well count on doing a little right-hand or left-hand circuit around it. Let's do a little circle and check it out, whatever it is. And then, like I said, we'll be lined right up for runway 10 when we get to the airport. So you guys notice the last couple weeks I've been able to delete all the stray waypoints that it always adds for like time climb and descent and all that. I managed to get rid of all that, and it works.
Nice. Is that just editing the file, or how did you manage that one?
Well, what helped me was little nav map. All of a sudden, they updated themselves that it accepts 2024 flight plans now. So I can do it as long as I can do it in little nav map. I can just erase everything there, and then I export it, and everything works fine. They no longer work in 2020 though, so I can't take this flight plan and put it in 2020.
Yeah, they usually do use XML files for this stuff, and you can get a generic XML editor and take things out there too.
It's kind of a proprietary one that only works for them now, which is weird because I actually create each flight plan in 2020 just because I like the flight planner in that game better. And then I export it as a PLN file, and then once I pop it into little nav map and monkey with it, it no longer works in 2020, even though that's what I created it on. As long as it works in 2024, I'm happy, so that's good.
Wow, this water looks awesome.
I was just about to point that out. What are they doing with the graphics?
Oh, you gotta love it when you can see through it.
I think I just passed Split Horse.
Oh yeah, I'm in the back, but you passed me a while back.
Oh, I got a bunch of like little names on the ground just popping up. I don't know.
Those are ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ship traffic right there. Those are actual ships in real life that are out in the water right now.
Nice.
Amazingly enough. I think what it is they have any ship that is on a schedule, they have that schedule.
Yeah.
Actually, there's some websites out there that'll pick up the transponders that are on the ships and show you where they are. Especially, I got one for the Great Lakes.
Think marine traffic.
Yep, that's it.
All right, we're less than 20 miles out from our next stop. But like I said, we're going to check out this point of interest really good here first, and then count on runway 10. Well, it's right on the tip here, but it doesn't look like a lighthouse. I wonder what it is. It doesn't look very big.
There goes Wignut again.
It is a fort. It is the Fort of Monserrato. This is one of those things that back in the day, this is probably one of the biggest buildings in town.
I wonder if they had any pirates or attacks on this fort.
A lot of helicopter pads around that town.
You know, some of these ships are quite large too, like a gigantic oil tanker down there. The Castillo de Macana, or Macada. It's a big one. So like I said, let's quickly do a left-hand circuit around the Fort of Monserrate, and that'll bring us right back on course for our runway. We're heading straight for it right now.
How low are you going?
We're going to take a left-hand circuit, and we're going to land on runway 10. Yeah, it's not a very big place, but from here it looks pretty nice.
I think I remember seeing this in one of the videos, actually.
Like it was one of the, they used it as a, in the trailer for the sim update?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a pretty nice looking place, isn't it?
Maybe it just looks similar to one.
Yeah, like I said, back in the day, this is probably one of the bigger buildings in town. This whole peninsula is pretty well modeled. I like it.
Must have been very expensive. I wonder who
this
could
tennis court?
afford it.
Oh boy. Actually, I don't know if that's a tennis court or a soccer stadium, or not stadium, but a little soccer court there. That's definitely a soccer field. Alrighty, very neat. I'm going to get back on course here and get ready to land on runway 10. This is the exporting town of Salvador. Cocoa beans, big amounts of cocoa beans going in and out of here. This is a heck of a city here. Quite a place. And they say the tourism here is quite the thing. And it's actually kind of nice. I could see in a very small area you can get a East Coast sunrise and a West Coast sunset.
It's always good.
Yeah, it is. Says the guy from Florida, right, Travis?
You had to drive 3 hours or so for that over here, but where I'm at, or much of the state anyways. But you can do it.
It can be done. Well, I've got the runway clearly in sight here. We're getting ready to land runway 10.
I do prefer the sunset side in a way.
Yeah, I'm glad I live on the west coast of Michigan instead of the east coast. Having that nice sunset is always nice. I'm never up early enough in the morning to see the sunrise. It's usually I see the sunrise before I go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not quite as pleasant in a way of like, you know, the sun comes up and then it just starts kind of burning in your eyes after a little while rather than the opposite. Like when I did more surfing and stuff, it was kind of like, oh, well, the sun is just reflecting right off the water, and no matter
Nice
which way I
glare.
look towards the waves, it's always just blasting in my eyes. At least for a little while.
You've been doing any kayaking lately?
Sorta. I don't know if I told you, but I got a canoe a while back and put my motor thing on it.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that electric motor you're working on. Do you put it on your
Yeah.
canoe instead, huh?
Yeah. And it was kind of broken for a little bit because the throttle on it kind of corroded out on me. It's just like a little cheap Chinese one. So I ended up putting a new one on there, and when I found out what the issue was, and it works fine again.
Oh, good
And
deal.
took it out a couple times, and just around the area here, and sometimes there's a bioluminescence in the water, just mostly a little bit to the north of me, but we tried to check that out on Tuesday, and it just wasn't there yet. I think from what I was reading online, the water needs to be a little bit warmer.
That's pretty cool. I don't see anything like that around here.
Yeah, it's really neat. When I was waiting for the SLS rocket launch, the only one that they did a little while back, at least so far anyways, they had that was like going on in the water, and I brought my fishing pole and stuff, and it was kind of really cool to see.
I'm going to try to come in right behind you, Bob, but I'm super close.
Okay, I was
we're
wondering
good.
where you were.
I'm gonna come in like between both of you, or right over Bob
There you
actually.
Well, we're a tight pack today. Look at that. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and clear to the right and then park back up around the beginning of runway 10. Let's take a 10-minute break. We'll say at 10 to the hour. 10 to the hour, we're back up in the air. We're not even on the runway, man. We're in the air flying at 10 to the hour. So grab yourself a drink or a snack and use the restroom. I see everybody's got these birds figured out pretty good around here.
They say we're pretty fly.
This is a pretty nice looking airport. Big.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, this is one of those bespoke
you haven't
airports.
lost it.
I know I've lost it just in a different way.
Oh, sorry, Split Horse. I couldn't get my brakes woed up.
That's all right. I probably cut you off. I wasn't looking.
Well, there's some animals here at the airport.
Really? Man, I'm so jealous of you guys with all your animals. I haven't had an animal in a while.
I don't know if I'm scaring them getting close to them, but they're kind of running off now. They're like buffalo or something like that.
They had a whole herd of cattle at the last airport.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Scaring them off to the runway, so watch out.
I should check that again. I thought I had that all as max as I could.
I didn't see him at the last airport either, so I wouldn't be too sure. Alright, well, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Fauna and ultra. Fauna. Flora is something else, but fauna is animals.
Is that right?
You got an ultra.
Well, I've got all that set to ultra, so I don't know what else could be not making animals appear. Who knows? It's a complicated program, isn't it?
Well, what you set and what it does may not be the same thing.
Very true. Yeah, this is a nice looking airport for sure. It's like I said, it's one of those bespoke airports. I chose it just because it had a gold star next to it.
You know, the labels on the sides of our airplanes are all little white boxes.
Yeah, that's one of those things that doesn't transmit. You'll be able to see your own name tag, but not others.
True.
Yeah, I have mine set to ultra. I haven't seen any animal yet.
Maybe you just set it down a little bit. You might see some.
So we're going to be taking off here in just a couple minutes, guys. Let me know if you need more time. Travis, did you switch aircraft? Nope, he might be gone at the moment. No, we lost, who did we lose? We lost Longhorn. I wonder if he's still having those graphics issues. That's frustrating when you get a nice new toy like that and it just makes it worse than it was.
Yeah. I see Travis is parked behind us back there. He's still in the same airplane, the King Air C-90.
Yeah, it looks like he restarted. It's alright, guys. We'll be back up in the air in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We're out of here. We have one leg to do. Our final stop for the evening is Ilheus, Sierra Bravo, India Lima.
The House of Ill Repute? What?
Ilheus. I'm not sure how they pronounce that around here. I think that's Portuguese. There's this whole section of Brazil is quite Portuguese. We're going to be landing on runway 29er. Not only is it recommended, it is the most straight in. So we get to runway 29er. Ooh, look out. Oh, I was going to say, it's not a very big one. It's 1,600 feet, but it's actually 1,600 meters. So it's plenty big enough. Plenty big enough. For some reason, it's given us meters for this one. It's right on the coast again, so we're looking at 1,600 meters of bituminous runway. That's plenty for what we're looking for. Just remember runway 29er. Okay, we're going to take a sharp right-hand turn out of here. Gentlemen, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Lazerbolt is spooling up. And rolling. Let's climb these birds all the way up to 6,000 this time.
$6,000. Travis is still going to the fridge to get his beverage.
I got lost. I'm back.
We just got in the
You're
air,
going.
buddy.
Lost in your own house? What is it? $6,000, Travis.
Hey, Roger.
Yeah, a guy that trades his kayak for a canoe sounds like a guy with a girlfriend to me.
But I still have the kayaks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to mess around and maybe make a more solid like motor setup, and I like to have like an equivalent, ideally, of a 10 horsepower electric motor.
I was going to say
On it.
your kayak was probably considerably smaller and lighter than your canoe, so you might need a stronger
Yeah.
motor.
Yeah, it definitely does the job, but you're not going anywhere super fast or anything like that. But yeah, you can whip around at 5 miles an hour, no problem.
Yeah, I'll get you there.
With 2 people and a fully loaded bunch of stuff on there.
So I like around here when I do my kayak, and I always do it in the river. We have this nice Pere Marquette River here. It's a nice lazy little time. You can spend a good 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon just lazily drifting down the river. Don't even have to paddle. Just put in. There's a bridge up here. We put in by the bridge, and it'll bring us right down to Scottville, right to the campground.
So, what's your vacation plans this year, guys?
Well, my vacation plans is I need to find a job so I can afford to go on vacation.
Oh, what are you going to be doing? What you looking for?
I don't know. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Last year I already had 2 jobs by this time, you know. I really wanted to go back to work at the state park. They haven't called me yet. I think they're doing a lot of improvements to the state park. I think only half of it is open at this point. Plus their funding was cut. So I don't know if I'm even going to be going there. I don't know. I'm even looking at driving cab. I'm looking at everything. I got to find something to do this summer. I might even take a job being a janitor at Walmart. Who knows?
Well, maybe one of those guys that you check out, check your receipt and everything,
Yeah, I don't want to be
Walmart.
that guy. The old invalid dude
You
that
don't want to be that guy.
yeah, the
The
old dude
Walmart
that always
cop.
stands by the door. Yeah, no thanks. No, I'd rather be the overnight janitor.
Excuse me, sir. You need to show me your receipt. And you get the finger.
Yeah, welcome to Walmart. Get your crap and get out.
Well, I love how they used to say hello to you. You know what I mean? That used to be their point. They used to be like, "Hey, how you doing?" They would welcome you to the store. Now they don't. Now they just ask you to see your bags as you're leaving. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah,
But I think I could handle being a nighttime janitor. I mean, got to do something for a living.
I think it's a little obnoxious. They took all the employees out of the registers and now they want to look at everybody's receipts. I know some people steal, but why is that my problem?
Yeah.
Well, I have a busted landing gear. It won't go up or down.
Oh no. You didn't look like you came down pretty hard last time. What's going on there? It looked like a smooth
It was
landing.
fine. It was. I mean, I had a smooth landing, and I don't know what happened. It's hanging. My right side is hanging down and won't go up or down.
Well, that's not going to be easy to land that way, is it?
It'll be a belly landing in the grass, maybe.
Just make sure I've got it on camera.
Hey, nobody's watching.
Well, I'm level at 6,000.
Right.
I'm going to try to maintain 160 as we cut across the water here to get to our final stop.
Have you guys seen that video of the female pilot that it was her debut solo flight and her landing gear got stuck where only
Uh-huh. Oh, what happened?
one landing gear, or actually I think the right side landing gear fell off. So
Oh, geez, you're going to need that.
and the person in the tower was talking to her, and they told her that the landing gear was no longer on the plane, and you could just hear her voice start quavering. You know, just
Oh yeah,
in
that's
a near panic.
bitter.
And they
A
got
bitter
somebody
pill.
that already knew how to fly the plane that she was flying, and talked her down and told her what to do, and she did the perfect landing, minimum damage to the airplane.
Right on. Good training right there. Good training.
I mean, why could something like that happen to Travis?
Hey,
Oh,
hey.
jeez.
Gotta fly it to the end of the crash. That's
Yep,
what they
gotta get to the end.
generally say. You keep flying the plane until you're stopped and parked, and
Keep flying
Yeah,
until
my
you're at
plane-
the scene of the crash.
yep.
It's usually Longhorn that has landing gear problems or an aircraft problem, and not me.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that. Did you overspeed? You would have noticed that before you landed, though. Yeah, very
Yeah,
weird.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Speaking of Longhorn, he might have had to reboot, but it's taken a while. Maybe he's just putting his old graphics card back in.
Speaking about computer stuff, Split Horse, I know we used to have the same motherboard and same CPU. I ended up ordering a used new CPU. That was my problem with my computer randomly crashing a while back, if you remember, but anyways, I made it into a server.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So you got a different rig now.
Yeah, it was a while back I did it, so, but I'm on a 10700K CPU now.
Right on. Hey, Longhorn, we just left maybe 10 minutes ago. We left that Salvador airport. If you
Yeah,
look to the
Travis,
south, you
I
can see us.
just built a new one.
Nice.
It's still sitting there, not quite finished. It's water cooled.
Ooh la la.
I would like to get a new, like, Intel CPU. I kind of prefer Intel, but they've been just doing garbage lately. I'm gonna wait until they come out with something
Yeah,
that's
I'm still relatively happy with what I got. I don't need to upgrade just yet. But kind of for the
I
same
will
reason,
never
it's
buy
like
anything.
I could probably benefit from an upgrade, but everything's running smooth, so why monkey with it, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just know if I want to get a new graphics card, I'm kind of topped out right now. As a matter of fact, my motherboard is already bottlenecking my graphics card just a little. So if I got a better graphics card, it wouldn't even improve anything because it's already bottlenecked on the on the motherboard. So in order for me to truly make my computer better, I would have to get a new motherboard. And in that case, you might as well just start from scratch, right? You might as well just build a brand new computer.
Yeah, the problem that I usually have is that my CPU is kind of limiting my graphics card because they don't program multi-threading on a lot of games properly, and even Flight Simulator. So it doesn't use all my cores and everything on my CPU, so
Right.
it kind of just tapers everything back a little bit. So like right now I'm getting 40 frames, CPU usage is around 30 to 50%, and GPU usage is at 64%. So that's kind of
Yeah, that's respectable.
yeah. I just kind of, since there's definitely more to be eaten, it's a little unfortunate. But sometimes actually they kind of did a little tweaking on this on 2024, where I have noticed they getting up there, maybe even 100% sometimes in bigger cities. Just don't know what is not causing me to allow it to go up to 60 frames in the middle of the water here. And no
you ever
clouds in
put
the sky.
developer mode on to see the frames per second?
I have in the old sim, but I haven't in this one.
60 frames is all you need in this game anyway. I mean, it's not like we're shooting stuff or whatever. As long as it's a smooth 60, nothing choppy going on, then everything's good.
Well, I like that, but like right now I'm only getting 45, which isn't bad. I mean, it's fairly smooth and everything normally anyway, so I don't really care too much. But I just don't, that just power being left on the table for kind of bad coding is just doesn't make me feel great. But in other games, I think like Red Dead and some other stuff actually use everything up proper. So I know it's possible. It's just a matter of them taking the time and really getting deep in there and fixing it.
So didn't you have that fancy HOTAS setup and throttle quadrant and all that kind of stuff from that new company there? Because I think Split Horse has the same one, and he was having issues with some control issues a week ago or two.
I don't have a HOTAS, but I do have the honeycomb
That's
yoke
the one.
and throttle quadrant.
Yeah, that's the one. Everything worked pretty smooth in 24 for that?
Yeah, for the most part. I don't have my lights and everything working.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's exactly what Split Horse said.
Okay, I haven't really bothered messing with that. It's gonna be freaking weird, but a lot of times I use ChatGPT now to look shit up, and try using that. You don't have to have an account. You can just, when it comes up, just say I don't want to log in or anything, and then just ask it.
Instead of Google.
Yeah, it works so much better and saves a shit ton of time. And if you do use it on your phone and stuff, you have to make an account. If you do this as sending pictures and stuff, like if I was watching a video where somebody was trying to fix their outboard engine, and they said, this is happening and whatever, and oh well, you can check this thing here, take a picture of your port side, and then he accidentally took a picture of the starboard side. It's like, no, that's the starboard side. Take a picture of the other side, and then it said, you can't see it right now because it's underneath the cowling. You have to take this cowling off, and it was just kind of like the fact of the amount of details that it's not always accurate, by the way. So
yeah, that's the thing that worries me about AI is I've already seen in my limited use of it a few examples of it was just wrong. It was just wrong. I don't know where it got the information from, but it wasn't right.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye on that. But yeah, it is super time saving when it is right, and it's right probably 90% of the time or more.
Yeah, I use it. I know there's a lot of people, especially for creative things, a lot of people are anti it. But I don't know, it's just a tool to use like anything else. It's like a skill saw. It's like a thesaurus. It's just a tool to use to make your work better. And like I said earlier, I've been working real hard on that Star Wars Day video. And super proud of it, by the way. I hope you guys check that out. I've been working hard on it. In my 8 years of making videos, I've never worked as hard as I did on this video. I really put some time into it. Anyway, of course I use ChatGPT. Well, not ChatGPT, but I use this thing called Leonardo. Just for doing backgrounds. I could spend forever trying to create a background. I could spend forever trying to search for the perfect background. Or I can just go into Leonardo and say, give me a chicken and rib shack on an asteroid floating around a big planet. And boom, here's 10 pictures of a chicken and rib shack on an asteroid floating around planets. You know what I mean? It makes it so much easier. It's so easy to use, and I use it all the time. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is that some of the artistic stuff can be definitely questionable in some moral ways or whatever you want to call it, but I come across videos here and there that I know is clearly 100% made all the way through from the lines or whatever the
even the
talking,
voice is fake and everything. I don't use it like that.
Fingers on one hand.
Yeah, that's not a good use for it if you ask me.
And yeah, no, that's horrible. Like the voice is always sounds the same and says like the same sort of wordage and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, luckily
yeah,
those
this is
are,
definitely
at
100%.
least at the moment, those kind of things are kind of easy to spot. It's going to be harder to see
Yeah.
that more and more as time goes by, but as it is now, you can spot one of these fake ass videos a mile away. I can usually tell just by the thumbnail. You know, it's like, you know, and then a lot of science stuff, which bothers me. It's like, oh, there's an interesting topic, you know, black hole paradox with the yada yada. Okay, I'll click on this. Interesting. And within the first minute, you realize that this is just some computer voice talking a bunch of nonsense about, you know, I mean, and not that it's untrue, but it's just clearly, it's just reading an article. It's just reading an article that was found, and it's just terrible. But I don't mind using it for creative stuff. I have a couple friends who are a little more on the creative side too, and some of them are pretty anti-it. They really hate it. They're like, oh, it's taking jobs away from artists and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. If you ask me, it's like Photoshop. You know, when Photoshop first came around, photographers were losing their mind. They're like, oh, great, this is going to put us all out of work. Nobody needs us anymore. You can doctor any photograph to make it any way you want. Blah, blah. You know what, though? The good photographers learned how to use Photoshop, and it's another tool in their belt now. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Just like when power tools first came out, you know, all the carpenters were like, oh, well, that's just great. This is going to put an end to us. Now anybody can just go buy some power tools and they can do their own porch. Nobody needs us anymore. And what happened is the good carpenters learned how to use power tools, and it made them even better, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, in history, there's always been somebody somewhere making something that does something better and changes something.
When the thesaurus, when the first thesaurus came out, educated people were all up in arms, going, "Well, that's the end of us. That's the end of authors. The entire, you know, catalog of authors is going to go down now because any schmo can sound smart just by buying a thesaurus, and that's going to be the end of us." And no, there's not an author on planet Earth that doesn't use a thesaurus. It's just a tool, you know. And I think that's AI is going to end up being like that. But people are going to have to be aware that there are less nefarious people out there who are using AI for some nefarious reasons. You know, they're going to be using it to try to trick us all the time. And that's just a thing. That's just a thing now. You have to be aware that not everything is real, but I don't think it's putting artists out of work. I think it's, if anything, it's giving more people the ability to be artistic. You know what I mean? More people, you know, look at me. Look at me. Little Ken Lichty from Ludington, Michigan can sit here and make a Star Wars video that he's proud of, you know, thanks to digital everything. You know, the digital editing, digital everything, and it makes it possible for little old me to express myself and have a good old time doing it, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I think there's a lot of great aspects to it for sure. But just like cell phones and everything else, with the good there is bad for sure. And
yeah, so the problem is there's always somebody looking to take advantage of. Well, they're not looking to take advantage of people. They're looking to take your money. There's always people that see something like that and they're like, "Yep, I can make some easy money," and then they do, and some don't. And I'm sure when power tools first came out, there was a lot of shiesty people going, "Yeah, I can buy some power tools, and hey, you want me to build you a porch? Sure, I'll come build you a porch in 3 hours. You know, it'll be the worst porch you ever seen, you know, because the guy doesn't know what he's doing." But you know, a lot of people made money off of power tools.
Yep. So there was I mean, it's still going on, but there was a good period where there was a lot of Indian scammers that would call over here and, you know, pretend like they're fixing your computer or some nonsense like that, especially focus on elderly people that weren't tech savvy. Now with AI, some of these people that have been fighting them are like fighting hordes of these people and just wasting their time for hours and stuff, and not even having to do the work.
Yep.
It's kind of funny, but yeah, there will be people that take it.
Well, money. money is a driving force for all that kind of stuff, you know. There's a lot of shystery people out there, but they wouldn't be shysters if they weren't trying to get your money. That's what makes them shady. It's all about getting that money.
What?
A beautiful evening here in Brazil, right on the coast. The sun is going down nicely.
It's already dark on me again.
I third in the morning. I just wasn't caring too much of what the time was.
Right, just took off early. Yeah, I always try to make sure that it's not going to be quite dark yet by the time we get there, because nighttime landing can be pretty crazy in an area you're unfamiliar with. I'm not even sure if this last airport even had the lights. Speaking of the last airport, let's get some details here. Let me look. So we are going to be landing on runway 29er, so bear that in mind. Yes, that is correct. Runway 29er. We're looking at a bituminous runway. 1,600 meters. I'm not sure how many feet that is, but that's plenty for us.
I don't know, what is that, around 3,500 feet?
Or how many
guess.
meters was it?
You said 16...
Six- 1,600 meters.
Yeah,
Multiply
that's
it
around
by 3, so that's
30,
a little bit more than that.
3,200 feet.
Yeah, we're
That's
good.
It's
I
less
think
than a mile.
anything over 2,000 feet is good enough for these. And that might even be a bit much.
Yeah, simple math for meters a feet is multiply or divide by 3, depending which way you're going.
Yeah,
It's not
so what,
perfect.
3,200 feet?
I'm far too right-brained to be good at math. I can figure out math, I just have to do it like a weird roundabout way. Like, my head is full of dice for some reason. I don't know why dice. But when numbers come up, I just picture like a 6 is 2 rows of 3, a 5 is the, 4 with a dot in the middle. And that's how I do math. If it's higher than 6, I have to stop and think about it. It starts getting into like fingers and toes territory.
I'm not really quite sure what you're explaining there, but
Excuse me.
No, it's
can you
just in
count
my
your
head.
fingers
That's-
and Can you
the-
count your fingers and your
Yeah.
toes on your feet for me, so I know why you're using base 6?
Yeah, that gets me back to base 6. But seriously,
Are we
when
talking
I'm
about AI
doing simple
toes?
math
Like
in my
base
head,
toes?
it's just dice. Like I said, it's like, oh, what's 6 and 5? I got I picture a 6-sided dice and a 5-sided dice, and I add the dots up. This is how I have to do it. My brain don't work that way. I'm too right-brained.
Are you telling me that doing math is like playing dice?
It is. Yes, taking my advice on mathematics is like rolling the dice. I can do it quickly. Like I said, I can do it really. I can do multiplication that way and everything. I can do it quickly. But it's a visual thing. I have to visualize it in my head. And visualizing numbers there's nothing there. It's just a number. It's just a shape. But dice, okay, dice represent numbers really well. So I just somehow in my head it always dice pop in there.
So how long you been having this problem?
Ever since I was 3. I wouldn't call it a problem. I would call it a solution.
hey, whatever works. Really, as long as you get to the
Kind
same.
of a random
That's
solution.
You mean like rolling dice? I got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of use numbers too. Like if an 8 comes up, I picture 2 4s. You know what I mean? And 8 is 2 4s. 2 4s almost look like an 8 if you put them side by side. You know what I'm saying? My brain works visually.
Why don't you visualize a calculator and start pushing buttons?
Oh, if it was only that easy.
Right.
You know, the thing that's weird though too is I've always been good with computers. I've always been really good at programming computers and telling computers what I want them to do and getting them to do what I want them to do. And people think that it's, how can you do that without knowing any math? Well, that's, you don't, to do anything on a computer, you don't need to know math. The computer does the math for you. You know what I mean? I'm good with formulas and shit like that. I've always been good at programming, and I've always been good at telling the computer to get the right answer. You know what I'm saying? I've been great at that. It's a logical thing that I've always been great at programming, because the computer does the math, and I know how to tell the computer how to figure out what it's trying to get. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird situation. Like I said, I've always been very technology minded. I've always been very good with computers. As long as the computer does the math for me, we're good to go. And that's what computers are best at. Computers are best at doing. As a matter of fact, that's all computers do is math. So I'm real good at telling the computer how to get the right answer.
It all seems very dicey.
Ouch. That's what I'm talking about, Travis. We miss you, buddy.
Sorry to roll that one out for you.
Oh, God. We're about 46 miles out from our final destination tonight. Please, if anybody is interested in joining us one of these nights, we would be just thrilled to have you. I always put all the information that you might need in the description of the video, and you can find where we're going, you can find what aircraft we're flying, and what time we're leaving. So please, if anybody would like to join us, please do. It's real easy. We fly pretty casual around here, and we just have a good time.
Well, a dice is actually a three-dimensional cube, so it's three-dimensional mathematics is what it is.
Yes, I'm doing more advanced math than the rest of you.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
I have a system and it works. It's just hard to describe, because like I said, it's all just it pops into my head instantly. You know, instead of numbers, dice pop into my head instantaneously.
I know what game I'm getting for you for Christmas.
Yahtzee?
Yahtzee.
So I see we've got another point of interest marker up here. We're going to be checking that out, whatever it is. I'm excited. I lost track of Longhorn again. That's not good. You still with us, buddy?
So, if you turn off your computer without turning, like going through Discord and turning it off, whether crashing or not, it takes a few minutes for it to kick you out of Discord.
Oh,
right. In case you didn't know, yeah, I think it's just like some handshake that it just doesn't send the handshake, and then like every once in a while, I think it just Discord servers ping or whatever, ping you, and if it doesn't get a ping, it's like, oh, well, you're not here anymore. Okay, well,
he might just be straight up switching off his graphics card, and he just left Discord running in the background. Can't get to his microphone.
Well, hopefully not while his computer's hot.
Yeah, that is true. Although I've seen people use Discord on their phone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're living in some lucky times. We got computers in our pockets, can do most of the things a normal computer can do.
You know, we really are. We really are. I mean, these are things that I used to literally dream about in the 80s when I was a kid, big into electronics and big into games and big into just, you know, avionics and everything else. that I used to just dream about this kind of stuff and thinking, and it was a pipe dream. It wasn't like I would dream that, boy, someday this is going to be so cool. It would just be, dreams. And now it's like 100% true, and they've surpassed every vision I ever had. And the computers and the things we can do nowadays is absolutely mind-boggling. It's like
You guys
magic.
you know I'm old, don't you?
Hell, buddy, you're older than me. That's hard to get.
Yeah, I was a professional software engineer back in the 80s. I was a professional software engineer back in the 70s.
Yeah, well, you had 16K and you thought that was awesome.
So you did your programming with little wire jumpers, huh?
I can tell you right now, sometimes we did programming on common used machines. Just everybody got a chance to use one machine and everybody had to share it.
You were lucky to have it.
Before there were things like PCs, we said, wow, look at that, microcomputers. I wonder how that's going to change what we do.
I remember.
I don't want to sound that bad because I ended up doing web development before I retired. So
you got in early. Yeah, you got in early.
Before I one of the first things I had to become as a certified Windows programmer way back in the Windows 3 area, the Windows 3 day.
Way
That's
back.
pretty cool.
So I remember
when I
back
grew
in
up,
the day
our
when
phones had a party line. Had to share phone lines with their neighbors.
yeah, you'd go to make a call, but somebody's already talking.
Yep.
That's how you get all the good gossip.
Yeah.
I hated
remember.
it.
So back in the day, the first time somebody invented like a terabyte hard drive, and I remember everybody going, well, that's ridiculous. You're never going to need that much. Never. You're never going to need that kind of storage. A full terabyte, that's just ridiculous. And now look.
I know they go above 24. I'm not sure what they are up to now, but
Well, I had about 12 terabytes used. The other day I went through and deleted a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I'm about ready for that too. I got too much crap on here.
I looked at a lot of stuff going, well, I'm going to delete that. If I ever want to play it again, I'll just download it again.
One of the things I got to delete is all my backups of FSX.
Right, that would clear up some space. I would have already deleted 2020 if I don't use it to create flight plans. That's all I use it for. It's a 130 gig program that all I use it for is to create a PLN file.
130 gig?
It's huge, man.
I'm sorry. I was thinking. I was not listening. I was thinking about the planning program. No, the planning program that you're using.
Oh, right. Little nav map?
That other one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I only use Little Nav Map to convert it from a 2020 file to a 2024 file. And I like Little Nav Map because it makes it easier for me to publish the flight plan. That way I can just copy and paste the information instead of having to type it out by hand. And, we visit these weird-ass cities with weird towns and, El Hombre, El Ocho, Cinco International Airport. It's like, man, I'd just copy and paste that crap. All right, gentlemen, we're 25 miles out from our final destination. We do have a point of interest to check out before we get there. We'll do our standard left-hand circuit. So I don't know if any of you guys use GamePass, but they've released a lot of really good games lately. In this past like 2 or 3 weeks, there's been some good stuff. I haven't had a chance to check it all out, but some of it's pretty high-profile stuff.
I did get Oblivion remastered.
Did you? Have you had a chance to try it?
I was just gonna bring it up.
Yeah, that's one of them that's on there. Yeah. Have you had a chance to try it out yet?
Oh yeah, I've pretty much gotten to the
Beating the game.
well, I
That's called
I
Oblivion.
think I've gotten to the last thing where you're supposed to keep somebody alive with 3 gates open, and there's freaking monsters coming out right and left, and I tried it twice, and he keeps dying because he's useless.
Well, that's not good to be useless.
Well, you know, one gate opens, then a bunch of monsters start coming out, and then another gate opens. And as soon as that 3rd gate opens, I need to get in there, but I have to be over where he is to keep the monsters off of him. Then I try running to the gate. Before I get to the gate, they kill him. It's like, ah!
Huh. So, Longhorn, you still with us, buddy? Let's check your pulse. I guess not. That's a shame. Like I said, it sucks getting a brand new toy like a new graphics card, and it just causes problems.
Well, any good deed goes on. No good deed goes unpunished.
And the thing that makes it hard to diagnose what the deal is it might not be anything to do with the graphics card itself. It could be anything, you know. Like he said, he suspected it was his headphones. Or I mean, not his headphones, his VR headset.
If he's got a graphics on his motherboard, he can always disconnect his graphics from his graphics card,
Right.
or just pull it and go with his motherboard and see what happens.
Right, it would have to be on his CPU, but that is true. Although, I don't know, most modern CPUs don't have graphics built in. You gotta like specifically buy a CPU that has that. But it is pretty handy when you got an issue like this, that's for sure.
It's handy when you got problems.
Yes, it is. I mean, my computer right now doesn't have that, and if my graphics card went down, my computer wouldn't even turn on.
I've
Yeah, I
got
do.
like 3 generations of graphics cards in my closet. I'll have something I could put in.
Right, I've got other ones I could pop in there.
Yeah, I do prefer to have the onboard graphics, but I can see how people think it's unnecessary for, you know, 30 or 50 extra bucks.
Well, and you could also probably get a better, especially for the money, you can get a more powerful CPU without it. But actually, the last computer I built for a friend of mine, it doesn't even have a graphics card. It was purely onboard CPU graphics driven. He just wanted a home computer, a home office computer. He's not going to be like playing a bunch of games, and he just wants something for his home office, something he can use like Windows Office, and you know, do some spreadsheets, and maybe even manipulate some 3D printing files before he prints them out. So
Yeah.
I just built him a simple $500 computer that runs like a top. It's super fast. It just doesn't have a graphics card. I mean, if you wanted to spend another $500 on a graphics card and double the price of the computer, you could play in a game on the planet on it, you know. But
Yeah.
like I said, he just needed a simple office computer, and I built him an awesome one.
Yeah, you can watch videos on those too.
Oh yeah,
So it's not really.
yeah, exactly. He can do everything he wants on it. He's had it for like a year now. He hasn't had any problems at all. But then he keeps coming up with, you know, I mean, that was the deal when I built it, and then he's like, I might want to check out Steam, this new, you know, Baldur's Gate. It looks really good, and I'm like, I'm not sure if your computer can handle Baldur's Gate. You know, it might. I don't know that it can't, but ugh, buddy, you know, when you asked me to build it for you, you didn't say you're going to be playing Baldur's Gate on there. You know.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
Yeah.
if you want to double the
Yeah,
price of
easy.
the computer and put a graphics card in there, I mean, his motherboard can hold
All you gotta do.
plenty good graphics card, and yeah, he could instantly make it game worthy just by tacking on another 500 bones.
Yep. Speaking about 3D printing, I haven't received it yet, but I did purchase an upgrade for my printer, and
Really? Did you have one of
Labs.
those? Yeah, you got one of them Bamboo Lab ones. Those are fancy.
Yeah, the P1S, not the super fancy X1
I
carbon
got
or
the
whatever.
X1C.
Oh, look at you guys with the nice ones.
Pretty
using
well.
my
The P1S
shitty old-
is just
Yeah.
quite a bit cheaper for the. Does all the same stuff except for the webcam isn't like live. It's just 1 frame per second kind of thing. It's the only thing that I really noticed.
Mine don't even have a webcam.
But anyways, yeah, so they came out recently with a new AMS, which just manages all the filament, like 4 filament rolls, but it has
so
a
you do different
dryer in
colors.
it.
You can do
So
different colors, you say?
Yeah, so I put that in, or well, sorry, I put an order in for that, and hopefully it will come. I don't know when it's actually going to come. I don't even look yet, and hopefully it'll come
that's
this
cool.
coming week though.
I would be very interested to hear all about that.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to go crazy with it right off the bat, but, oh, since you have the same, basically the same printer split horse, have you gotten the smooth, PEI plate? The build plate?
I do have a smooth PEI plate. I mean,
It's kind of
It's-
mostly for high temperature,
the-
but you can
it's the
use
same.
PLA on it.
well, yeah, it's the same plate that I use PLA, but I just flip it over.
Okay, so you got the double side one.
I have tried to print in PETG, and I have not had very good luck with it.
I haven't done much PETG, but if you didn't have the smooth plate, I would definitely highly recommend it if you don't like the texture. It works great for me, but
Isn't PETG like the high temperature stuff? Or higher
a little
temperature than
higher.
the other?
I just can't get it to stick to the dang plate.
do
You
you
tried hairspray?
use hairspray? Yeah.
Yeah, hairspray
Yeah,
works for me.
I've used spray. I've used alcohol. I've tried all kinds of stuff. I just can't get it to stick worth anything.
On the worst things that I've ever tried that would not stick, I use hairspray and then a raft. You know what I mean? Instead of a brim or a skirt, just give it a raft, and then it'll just print this big old blob, and that'll stick. That big blob will stick, and then it prints on top of that.
Yeah, but I can't get the blob to stick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I have
just
some PETG. I'm gonna. I have some PETG. I'll try it out, but
Guys, there's a bridge down there.
Oh, there is a
where's
bridge.
PR?
That looks pretty low. If you're going to try to go
Yeah.
under it, I'm going to watch you do it. We do have the Cathedral of Saint Sebastian over here. Look at this place. It's quite fancy. Ooh la la.
Okay, we're going under the bridge, huh?
I'm going to
No,
do
we're
a
gonna
circuit
go
around
over-
Saint
over the
Sebastian while I
bridge.
watch you guys go under that bridge. I might go into that bridge too now that I'm closer. It does look pretty nice. It's not that small.
I do have some PLA. Maybe I'll try that this week and see how. I'm sorry, not PLA. PETG. See how it goes. But I do print a fair bit in. I think it's ABS.
Made it!
Yeah, I just saw you make it. At least I saw your name tag. All right, Coast, you made me nice and you made me brave and bold over here. I'm going to try to go down there
It's
myself.
not easy, guys.
It don't look very tall. I bet
You
you I
guys
could
go
fit
ahead and
under
break
it.
your planes and match mine. I'm already broken.
Oh, that's right. You got that landing gear thing. Maybe you can get some water on it and it'll loosen it up.
Yeah, when I print the really high temperature ABS, I do boost the temperatures up a bit. It wants to print at 90 and I go up to 100 and it usually does a little better.
I'm over here
On the
near
build
airport.
plate.
We coming in off the water for the landing?
We are coming in off the water. I believe it's runway 29. I just hit the
jeez.
bridge. Did you see me hit that?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I would have saw that from your angle.
Oh god, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Nothing
that
at
wasn't
your
pretty.
expense.
I hit the bridge. It took my head off. I hit it right with my canopy.
I got it. Oh, I got under it, guys.
I saw your
Yep,
name
I
tag
got
do
under
it. It looked like it would have been fun. All right, now I got to figure out how to flip my damn plane over. I'm trying Y button and Y doesn't do jack.
Why?
Why not?
Yeah, if you're in the 2024 keyboard settings, in your settings, it's a different
Yeah, I don't think I
button.
am. I'm just going to search for it. I've already got it set, but it's Shift Z for some damn reason. Weird.
Yeah, that sounds right. I've heard other people talk about it. I think that's right. Shift Z.
Shift Z, yep. That's how I got out of the last one.
Well, I am impressed that all this time that we've been flying 2024, this is the first time that I've needed it. Aren't you impressed too?
Oh, yeah, we're always impressed by whatever you say, boss.
That's the spirit. Oh, split horse. That was nice. Yeah, I just saw you go right over.
I went through a red car, though. The car was underneath the bridge.
That looks good, though. You look good upside down.
All them quarters will fall out of your pocket.
He ain't got any quarters.
Was there a grass on the side of the runway there, Coach, now that you've already landed?
There is grass on the side. There's always grass. Grass is always greener on the other side of the runway.
Well, if I have to land in the grass so I don't block the runway for everybody.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me land. I'll hop out. I'll get in a truck and I'll drive underneath your wing.
Oh, sounds like a plan.
Must admit it was like playing dodgems with the bridge when you get real close.
I noticed that they fixed the flying underneath the bridges.
Yes. Except when you hit them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Underneath has a different definition there, Travis. Underneath means not hitting. Where's everybody? I'm over here on the landing. I feel lonely.
I'm going to do a really sharp right turn onto the runway.
Yeah, it won't come down. It's hanging halfway.
500.
I'm going to hit the grass over here.
Comes the brakes.
It was rough, but I'm in one piece. I'm in the grass. Really?
Yeah, you cut out like you said what?
And if you fly them right, they fly under the bridge as well.
Oh, dang.
I can't get out. Whatever. So what? I mean, big deal. It's only walking around. It's only walking.
Now, if they had a little scooter,
Now you're talking. Hey, a motorcycle. That'd be nice.
Well, it's good to be back. Thanks for the flight laser.
So how long are you going to be? How long are you going to be in this neck of the woods, kiddo?
Probably until around August.
Good.
Maybe a little bit before August, but
so
Don't have any-
what are you doing this traveling? Are you like with a company or something, or?
no. My girlfriend's from Austria, so it's just purely, just purely that.
I didn't know the little side doors open here in the back of the plane too. Yeah. It's like a double door on the back, in the back seats of the plane. Both double doors open.
Those flowers bounced out.
Do these airplanes carry jacks for their wheels?
I think they all flew up to the window.
It looks empty. Where'd you leave your passengers? Oh, they can swim. I got that.
So guys, give me a second here to shut down the stream, and we'll call this flight over. So everybody, thanks a lot for participating tonight, and if you'd like to join us one of these nights, please do. You can find all the information you need in the group flight information in Discord, and also at the bottom of the stream here. It shows where we're going, what we're doing. You can get the game in GamePass. GamePass has the game. It's a great way to check it out. A lot of people have that. That way you can see if it's for you or not. And Sunday is Star Wars Day, everybody. So please, if you're interested, tune in to my channel Saturday night at midnight Eastern, and I will be premiering my new Star Wars video. So happy May 4th to everybody. And thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.